Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the Joe Phil Show with Joe Phil. That's me. Tonight, our guest is an internationally acclaimed halakhist of his age, known for his vast knowledge of both Judaic and secular studies. But unlike the rationalist Rambam, our guest tonight has a mystical bent, infusing his commentaries with the mystical teachings of Kabbalah. Give it up for Ramban! Thanks, Joe. It's finally nice to be back in the holy land of Eretz Yisrael. I've literally been waiting my entire life for this. That's right, you have. But if my sources are correct, you spent the last 3 years of your life in Eretz Yisrael. Why is Eretz Yisrael so important to you? Well, Phil, many years ago I declared that it is a mitzvah to take possession of Eretz Yisrael and live in it. As long as Israel occupies, the earth will be subject to HaKodesh Baruch Hu. According to many passages in the Torah and many midrashim, mitzvos are far more significant when performed in Eretz Yisrael than performed anywhere else in Gullus. This is why I moved to Eretz Yisrael during the Crusades, after I was expelled from Spain for my polemics. I wanted to fulfill the divine commandment of moving to the Holy Land. Even after the land of Israel was left in ruins, it was still a blessed land. Am I right? You most certainly are, Ram. Mind if I call you Ram? Not at all. Okay then, Ram. You mentioned before that you were expelled from Spain. What did you do in Spain before that expulsion? Well, you see, Joe, I lived in Spain under Christian rule, as opposed to Rambam's Muslim rule Spain, so I became quite familiar with the Christians. In that time, I was pretty well known for some aggressive refutations of Christianity. When I was 69, I took part in a debate with a converted Jew named Pablo Cristiani before King James I. The debate involved the argument as to whether Jesus Christ was in fact the Messiah or not. Very interesting. So what did you do for a living during that time? Well, I was a part-time physician and a part-time leading medieval Jewish scholar, so yeah. Awesome. I'm actually going to take a quick break from asking questions myself and let somebody from the audience ask you some questions. Sure.
So what's the deal, Rambam? Were you Sephardi or Ashkenazi?
Well, the answer for that question may not be as simple as you think. As it may be known, I lived in the northwesternmost part of Spain under Christian authority. That part of Spain was closer to France and other Ashkenazi Jews, rather than most other Spanish scholars. So because of all this, I'm often considered a hybrid, if you will, between Ashkenaz and Sephard. Geographically, I lived in Spain, but the fact that I was obsessed with Jewish thought and philosophy was similar to a strong characteristic of Sephardim. But my approach to Talmud study and Halakha was more similar to that of Ashkenazim rather than Sephardim. So the reason you're here in the first place is to promote your life's work, which have been invaluable contributions to the understanding of all things Jewish and rabbinic literature. A collection of your works in Chumash, Jewish law, Jewish philosophy, and Kabbalah can be found in this book. And your work on the Talmud can be found in this book called Chedushei HaRambam. So tell me, Ram, what makes your work so special? Well, my commentary on Chumash, for one, is considered very valuable due to the fact that I address and articulate important concepts in Kabbalah and Jewish philosophy. For instance, I address issues such as the nature of miracles, divine providence, and free will. I also taught ideas like these in many of my essays, books, and letters. Cool. Yep. So what's up with your work on the Talmud? Well, Joe, you may have heard of Rabbeinu Tam, Zichron Levarcha, who had lived about 100 years before me. He was the author of the Tosafist approach to Talmud, which Chudishay Haramban mirrors greatly so. I had also written a book called Hashagot Haramban, which was a critique of Rambam's Sefer HaMitzvot. Sefer HaMitzvot excluded many integral and important mitzvot in the list of the 613 mitzvot, while including others that shouldn't have been included. For example, the Rambam doesn't consider living and settling in Eretz Israel one of the 613 mitzvot, while I obviously do. Well, that's all for tonight, folks. Give it up for Ramban on the Joe Show.